What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Crypto with Leo YouTube video. Now, I think it goes without saying, if you are a Ripple fan, if you're an XRP fan in general, you are absolutely going to love this video, and for very, very good reason. Ripple have just made another massive partnership with two absolutely huge banks, one in Australia and one in Canada. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down for you quite literally everything you need to know about it. And believe me when I say this, guys, make sure you watch till the end, as I'm going to give you a statistic that might just blow your mind. So without further ado, guys, let's dive straight into it. Firstly, I do want to say, though, guys, if you are new to this channel, welcome. I do daily crypto content surrounding the whole space. So if you do enjoy the video today, make sure to click that subscribe button. Make sure to leave a like. It's free to do and helps with my videos and my algorithm. And then leave a comment as well. Guys, I love talking to you guys. So if you have any questions relating to this video or videos you want me to make sure to leave it in the comments and I'll always get back to you. So as I said before, without further ado, let's get into it. So one of Australia's major four banks openly states on its website it is partnering with Canada, CIBC, using Ripple's blockchain network technology, or as we know it, RippleNet. Now, this is not new for Australia, as we are going to get into it. You can see it's the National Australian Bank, but this is not new for Australia. Australia are actually very much fans of Ripple in general, or at least their banks are. And we can see it down here as well with another bank in Australia called Westpac, stating on their website that they're also involved with the distributed ledger technology startup Ripple in building out a network to facilitate faster and cheaper cross-border payments. So, you know, they're already well established in Australia. So now it's interesting to see how they're branching out. But it's this one in particular that is really, really cool to see. And that's what we're going to dive into today and give you some more information on it. So I think some of the coolest things right here is that the banks are openly stating, and in this quote right here, that everyday new fintechs are challenging the status quo, meaning they're changing the dynamic of how things are working. And we have to not just keep up, but also find ways to get in front. And I love that statement just there, because they're talking about ways to get in front. And what do? They go straight to Ripple. And I think it goes without saying, seamless cross-border transactions with on-demand liquidity if they so desire to get it. Now, that's the important thing to note, guys, that they are using RippleNet, the network technology, the blockchain. They are not actually using on-demand liquidity, which is the use of XRP, using XRP as liquidity for cross-border transactions. So I just wanted to get that out there, guys, just to make that clear. However, remember, you know, all these banks utilizing RippleNet, one day they can just flip that switch to utilize on-demand liquidity, which what I'm going to explain in the end, guys, will make perfect sense as to why. And we're actually going to have to go back in time to 2017 to understand that. But let me finish reading here. So by combining global knowledge and insights, we hope to be able to accelerate learning and the development of solutions for our customers. Mainly talking about how they've basically set up something right here. National Australia Bank has signed agreements with two leading global financial institutions, that is Israel's Bank Leumi and Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, to form an international banking innovation alliance. And that's basically to just find new ways, or at least as they say on here, fintechs that are challenging the status quo, things that are more efficient than the technology they have today. As they say, you know, with the way the world's changing, they want to find ways to put themselves in front of it. So yeah, Ripple goes without saying. Another quote right here, which is really exciting, and this is basically just having it on paper. We're excited to be working with the CIBC and have already partnered with them using Ripple's blockchain technology to complete international payment transfers between our banks as a proof of concept. Now, this is the important part, guys. As they have said here, they are an innovation alliance. So basically going to be testing things out. And that is exactly what basically proof of concept is. Now, I'll define it after I show you this fact, because I just want to put into your heads the scale of this. So when you actually go into the top 5 banks in Canada, these means the top 5 biggest banks in Canada. You can see on here, CIBC is literally one of the biggest banks in Canada. So it's huge that Ripple can then staple their name on the forefront as being tested by them in a pilot study, or as they call it, you know, a case study, etc. Proof of concept, easier to say. Now, the next one, of course, is the top 10 banks in Australia, or the top 10 biggest banks in Australia. And what do we expect? There we go. National Australian Bank is literally the 3rd biggest bank in Australia. So it's absolutely awesome to see that we literally have two banks within, which are, like they said on there, leading in their industry, as they are in the top 5 biggest banks within their countries, and they are currently testing or doing proof of concept with Ripple in a way to find new technology that is more efficient, more sustainable, etc., at doing cross-border transactions, and they're actually going to be testing that themselves. So just to give you an idea in your head of what proof of concept is, I've said it a couple of times now. Simply, it's just a pilot project, and it's to demonstrate that a design, concept, business proposal is actually feasible. So to give you an insight, guys, into who's done proof of concept before, we have to go back to 2017, as I stated at the beginning, and we can see that the Bank of England did proof of concept with Ripple to explore the synchronized movement of 2 different currencies across 2 different real-time gross settlement systems linked using Ripple Connect, or at least that's what it used to be called, now is Ripple Net, and the Interledger protocol. We wanted to demonstrate how this kind of synchronization might lower settlement risk and improve the speed and efficiency of cross-border payments. So extremely similar to what we're seeing, NAB, which is the National Australian Bank, and CIBC doing currently within their partnership using the Ripple network. So yeah, absolutely awesome to see. It also shows that, maybe the BOE, Bank of England, or the UK slightly ahead of things, which I think from a regulatory standpoint is kind of true. I do think we're in a pretty privileged position. It's just whether we choose to, stay at the forefront of it. And what I hope is that, our private sector will actually or public sector, sorry, will actually take advantage of the Digital Pound Foundation, which we do currently have in place, which is pretty much founded by Quant and Ripple. So moving on, I'd actually wanted to just show you how this was actually a raging success. This proof of concept, it went very well. Was a useful exercise to develop the bank's understanding. Basically, this is from the actual document for those that were wondering. Understanding of synchronization and possible technical solutions. Our key learning points were, and they basically just outlined how it was more efficient and how it basically did show that it was a safe way of doing things. There was a really interesting point they made here, where they basically stated that it was safe in the fact that they couldn't fraudulently put any transactions through. They had to be, as it was on a ledger, accepted by both of them. But here it says here, cross-border payments, when applied to a wholesome markets, and this is the big point, guys, present different challenges than when compared with retail and corporate transactions, which the Ripple product is designed to handle. Now, here's the big one. The availability of liquidity is one such challenge. So when they actually were thinking about it, they were talking about how can we scale the utilization of RippleNet or technology alike. And one of the biggest problems with doing that would be if you were to go into different markets, that is, whether that be, as they were saying on here, retail and corporate transactions, the biggest problem would be liquidity, simply, for such speedy transactions. And of course, as we know, guys, that is exactly what XRP on-demand liquidity provides. So it's very interesting that was the biggest challenge that they've outlined, is that the lack of liquidity. What's interesting is what they said next, and the proof of concept allowed the bank and Ripple to begin exploring these questions, which of course would have been answered very swiftly, very easily by Ripple themselves, stating, well, we do actually have the solution to that very one question which you desire. So just to give you an insight, guys, that's pretty much an overview of what is going on right now. Of course, this is absolutely amazing news between the partnership between NAB and CIBC utilizing or testing RippleNet with a proof of concept. But it's important to know that does not mean they're using XRP. So yeah, keep a level head, guys. But once again, it is absolutely awesome to see. Now, as promised, here's the statistic that I promise you guys. With the addition of these 2 banks now testing or utilizing it, we have 38% of the world's top 100 banks are now linked to Ripple. Now, that is whether they are literally a customer of Ripple, whether they're testing RippleNet, or whether they literally use on-demand liquidity. 38% of the world's top largest banks are linked with Ripple. Now, guys, at the end of the day, crypto is a speculative market. I think that goes without saying. Me personally, and of course, this video is not financial advice, guys. I always have to clarify that. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I personally choose to, put my money where, into an asset that is actually being utilized, has use case. And that's exactly what we're seeing in front of us here. Now, of course, I think Crypto Mason outlined it like perfectly in his video yesterday. He basically said, investing in XRP is somewhat making a bet. As at the end of the day, like we said, we're in a speculative market, guys. It's somewhat making a bet that one day all these banks that are currently linked, testing, etc., RippleNet are going to switch the on-demand liquidity button, and they will start using XRP. And there is truth to that, guys. There is truth to that. At the end of the day, that's what we want. It's the idea that, Ripple have all these banks in their network. All it takes is them to call them up and say, we want to use on-demand liquidity. But don't let anyone tell you on-demand liquidity or XRP is not utilized anywhere. It is currently literally being traded and utilized as liquidity in 20 different markets. And I actually want to make a video for you guys. I think it's over 20 markets now. Make a video for you guys outlining all those markets so you can actually see the scale of what is actually going on in front of us. Now, I'd like to leave you on this note, guys. I do have another video dropping tomorrow or later on today, and that is going to be a full XRP lawsuit update. You are definitely going to watch this, guys. It looks like things are really starting to heat up between XRP or Ripple and the SEC, and some serious pressure is being put on the SEC, and I think that's shown, and they're even showing it in some of their documents. So make sure you catch that tomorrow. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this page if you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, leave a comment if you want to ask any questions as well. Have an amazing rest of your day. Peace out.